Hey, everybody. It's your boy, Sean McLaughlin at Options Sean on the old Twitter X. Today is Thursday, September 25th, 2025. Hope you're doing well. The weekend's almost here. I was kind of laughing with my tech guy behind the scenes. My face looks kind of blue today. I don't know what's going on with my light. I hope that's not distracting to you. It's distracting to me. I'll try not to look at myself. Not sure what's going on there. But hey, this is the All-Star Options Jam session where we review action in the portfolio that has happened over the last week, any exits that we've had, whether for a win or for a loss. We've had some partial profits that we took on a trade. We'll review that. We will also update stops on some winning positions to do our best to try to protect some gains or at least minimize losses. And then we'll review some open or some new trades that we've put on in the last week. That's what we do here in the All-Star Options Jam session. So let's get right into it. Let's start at the top. Let's talk about the SPY. It's a down day today. We've had, believe it or not, we've had two straight down days. A third, if you want to count Tuesday, it was a red candle. I mean, I guess, oh yeah, so this would be the third straight down day. Very unusual, it seems these days, right? In a bull market, it seems like all we do is go up. Of course, that's not true. That's just what it feels like sometimes. So the market's been, testing our patience a little bit today. That's okay. A very interesting thing though, and this is diversification for the win. At one point this morning, I was looking at my portfolio, the portfolio that has mostly All-Star Options trades in it, and I was surprised to see that I was actually up on the day. And I was like, wait, that can't be. The stock market's down, stocks are getting hit, high beta names are slipping. What's going on? How am I even up today? And it turns out I was up because diversification for the win. I have some short positions on, and the short positions are doing really well. So let's talk about a couple of those. Here's Simple, this Simply Goods food company. We've been long the November 25 puts that we got in back in August. And as you can see, this position is performing very well. It's almost to our profit target. We're going to take profits at 22 if it gets there. Fingers crossed. But certainly it's giving the portfolio some much needed P&L, some much needed green to balance out some of the other positions that aren't working. Also, and more notably, we bought, or not SPY, we bought Q. We bought some puts. We bought these on Friday last week. This is a new trade, so we won't get too much in the details, but the timing of that turned out to be pretty good. Right up here on the 22nd, I was telling you guys, hey, it's cheap right now to buy insurance, right? It's cheap. Maybe we should do that to balance some of our long exposure. And, better to be lucky than good, but the timing seems to have been pretty well on that. I hope this trade loses. I said that in the blog post when I put it out. I hope this trade loses, because if this trade wins or wins big, that means the rest of my positions are probably getting the shit kicked out of them. And I don't want that, right? So I have I got a bearish position on in the Qs. It's working so far. That feels good. It's helping offset some of the losses today. And like I said, we have one more short position. I don't know if this one's doing it today. Target, yeah, a little bit. Target's down on the day. Kind of hard to see. You got to squint, but it's a red day for Target. So we do have some bearish positions on that are offering some portfolio ballast, as they say. So portfolio diversification, that's an important thing to do, right? Always be mindful of that. All right, so let's get into positions we've exited this week. Where are they? Recently closed positions. Okay, let's get the bad news out of the way first. All right, let's talk about MasterCard. We were long the March 700 calls. We paid 754. We got into this not too long ago. Well, let me zoom in on my chart here a little bit. Where do we want to go? There we go. Got into these couple, 3 weeks ago. But unfortunately, once it closed below 573 this week, that was my signal to exit the trade. So we are now out of MasterCard. Got out of this one yesterday, and I'm feeling pretty good about yesterday's exit because it's looking like it wants to go lower still. But hey, we paid 750 for them, got out at 390. Not a terrible result, right? I'm a broken record on this. I say it all the time. But when I buy these calls, this 750, I invested enough money that if I were to lose everything, if they were to become a zero in my portfolio, which is a real risk when you're buying calls, If they become a zero, the impact to my portfolio will be less than 2% of my trading capital, ideally closer to 1%. All right. So the fact that I only lost about half, great. It's just a flesh wound. No big deal. We can come back for that. But we are out of MA. All right. SPY, we had a strangle, a long strangle on in SPY. This was a bet we were making that we were setting up for a big move in one way or the other. It was either going to be a big move up or a big move down. That's what we needed for this to play out. We got to move up, but the move up is not happening steep enough or fast enough for this to really work for us. And the pullback that we've seen in SPY the last 3 days brought the spread back kind of in the middle of its range, which is not good for a strangle. And the rule that I had set up for this trade was that if it lost half of its value, if I lost 50% of the value of what I paid, then that would be my signal to get out. And we had that today. We paid $6.45 to get into the strangle today. I was able to get out of it at $3. Might be worth a little bit more now. I don't know, but hey, I was down 50%. That was my signal. And I'm not feeling too bad about that because look, if SPY continues ripping higher, we've got plenty of long exposure on the books to make money with that. If SPY sells off, if we have a sell off, that's okay because we got a bearish position in the Qs that will offset that. All right, so that's the two bad news bears of the exits this week, but let's talk about the good news. APLD, Applied Digital. We're long December 15 calls. We got into these in early to mid-August. The plan was if we got to 21, so when we got into this trade, the stock was trading around $14. The plan was if the stock got to 21, which by the way is a 50% increase from the time that we got into the stock, right? That I was going to sell half of my position, whatever I could get for it. Okay. Well, we got there on, when was that? On the 22nd. So that's Friday. We broke through 21 intraday. I said, all right, time to sell half. And I was able to sell half of my position for $8. So not only have I recouped my original investment in this trade, but I'm also sitting on guaranteed profits now. I've got guaranteed profits. I can't lose in this trade. Still have half of the position on, and now I'm just going to let it ride. Hashtag free ride. That's the goal. We're taking a little heat today in this position, but the trend still feels intact. We have till December to see where it goes from here. And whatever we sell this remaining half of the position, whatever we get for that, if anything, just adds to the already built-in profits we've got in this trade. So congrats to any of you who joined me in this trade. It's looking pretty good in spite of what's happened in the last couple of days. Still looking real good. All right, so that's it for portfolio action this week as far as trades that have been exited or adjusted or partial profits taken like this. That's all we got. So now let's move into updating stops. We have a number of positions that we're updating stops in no particular order. Let's start with AG. We're along the, we've been talking about this one for a while. We started this trade as a call calendar spread where we sold the July $9 calls and we bought the December $9 calls. The goal was I wanted those July calls to expire worthless. They did. Excellent. Well, we closed them for 5 cents. All right. Because really, I just wanted to be a holder of the July or December 9 calls for exactly the type of move we've been experiencing. So this trade is working out really well for us, but it's time to move up our stops a little bit. We don't want to give too much back. I'm raising my stop now to 10, which roughly corresponds with the most recent support level after this fresh breakout here on September 11th. So new stop is at 10. I don't want to see AG have a closing price below 10. If it does, that's my signal to get out. Depending on how swift that move is, this position may or may not be profitable. It probably will be. If we have to get out around 990 or 975, whatever, it should be profitable. We'll see. There's a lot of moving parts on that. But for now, the stop's at 10. Hopefully we'll be raising that stop again down the road because, this trade is looking good. It's in the right sector. Metals are doing well. So I'm sending it good vibes. All right. Next up, CM. This is the Canadian Imperial Bank of Commerce. It was nice when I was in Toronto last week to actually see some CIBC banks around in the wild. That's good. That was cool. I'll say, hey, I got a big position, you guys. Thanks for making me money. I said to no one in particular. Anyway, we're along the January 75 calls. This trade has been going absolutely great for us. It's still going. The trend is still intact in spite of the last couple of days. Um, 85 is a level I'm looking to take some profits, so that's why that's up there. So keep a heads up for that. But I'm raising my stop now to 75. That's corresponds with roughly where it broke out from last, its most recent breakout. I'd hate to see it give all that back. And the rising 50 period moving average is right here. That's that blue line. So if we get back below 75, that would tell me that this trend is likely over, at least on my time frame. So we'll look to get out and salvage whatever we can. But for now, that stop on CM is 75. Okay, moving on. More metals. GDXJ. Long again, some January calls. January 75. We bought that dip. Man, I'm never really that good at buying dips, but I mean, pat on the back. Pat on the back when I bought this dip. I purposely bought this dip. I said, hey, this feels like a gift. It's coming right back into the low of this range. It feels like a gift. And man, it's a gift that keeps on giving. This trade is working extremely well for us. 100 up there is the level where I'm going to be taking some profits. But in the meantime, I'm raising my stop to 80. I don't want to see GDXJ, the junior gold miners, get back below 80. Any close below 80 is my signal to get out. Next up, MP Materials Corp. We're long a bull call spread, the 65.85 bull call spread. I paid $3.25 for it. Do we have a level up here marked out? No, we don't. But look, this is the most the spread could be worth is 20 bucks. All right. I'm going to sell this thing at 16 if I can get there. And we're heading in the right direction. The 16 would be 80% of the maximum potential value of the spread. Feels like a nice win to me. So if I can get out at 16, I will. But in the meantime, I'm raising my stop now to 62, which roughly corresponds to about the level the stock was when we first got in. Let's hope it doesn't come back there. That's the hope. I love the way this trade, the stock bounced off its 50 period moving average today. I love the way it's trading in a tricky tape, right? Stock's green on the day. It briefly kissed the previous intraday high it had on August 11th. But the good news is even at this price now, 77.73, if it were to close here today, that's a new closing high. That's bullish. That's really bullish. I like our chances in this trade. But the stop for now is at 62. All right, next up, Pony. This is a trade we got into fairly recently. We're already raising our stop because we had quite a move since we got in. I'm raising my stop to 1650, which roughly corresponds to where we got in. We have until January. We almost kissed the level where we're going to sell half of the position. Again, all this was laid out in the details of the blog post that I put out when I published this trade. But if we get to 24, I will sell half of my position, whatever I can get for it. Hopefully a lot. Hopefully a lot. That would be nice. But our stop now is 1650 in Pony. And last but not least, Uber. We're long the March 120 calls. I'm raising my stop to 90. I don't want to see Uber get back below 90. If it does, that spells trouble to me on my time frame. Hopefully we don't even threaten it. But Uber was looking real good a few days ago until this recent selling hit the market. But this is one of those names that's still hanging tough. If the market can find its footing, Uber is one of those names that's likely to lead the way higher. All right, that's it for all the updated stops, everybody. We'll come back to those in a minute. Let's just review the new trades we've put on since we last spoke. I hinted at the QQQ trade. This was more of a hedge. I know this sounds strange to some of you to hear this, but this is a trade that I hope I lose money on. I hope it loses, right? I'm only risking 1% of my portfolio. No big deal. No big deal. But I hope it loses money. But we have a bearish position on a QQQ. And if you want the details for all of these new trades, you could find them at allstarcharts.com. Head to the members section, head to the options section. You'll get detailed trade plans for every trade that I put on so that you can follow what I do what I do, or make the trade your own. That's your choice, okay? But at least you'll have a framework of how to think about how to manage risk, where to potentially take profits, all that stuff. All those details can be found in the blog post. So we're bearish in the Qs. Guess what? We're also bearish in Target. We put a bearish trade on in Target. This stock just has not been able to get out of its own way for the past year. Boy, my friend Jeff Mackey, our retail analyst, he's been bearish on this name. And look, if Jeff Mackey's bearish on Target, I listen. Because if you don't know, his father used to be CEO of Target back in the day, a while ago. But still, he knows Target better than anybody. And if he's bearish on the name, well, I'd be foolish to take the other side of that trade. So we're bearish in Target. Again, details can be found on the blog. Last but not least, UMAC. We put a bullish trade on UMAC. It's not off to a great start, but I like the way it's recovered intraday today. This is our newest trade. We put this one on yesterday, I believe. Yes, yesterday. So again, all the details can be found on the blog. All right, guys and girls, friends, everybody. Hope you guys are doing well. Hope that was instructive to you. Here's the updated stops for those of you who want to take a screenshot of that. Please do. I know some of you guys like to throw it in the chat. Guys, if you're not in All-Star Options and hanging out in our chat room, are you even trading? Do you even do this with help? We're here, man. We're a community. Get involved. We got a chat room. If you're an All-Star Options subscriber and you're not in my chat room, shoot me an email, info@allstarcharts.com, and we'll make sure you get in there. All right. It's not just me sharing ideas. It's everybody. We're all sharing ideas. We all have our eyes on the market. We're all watching for stops to be triggered. We're all watching for profit levels to be hit so that we could take our profits. We're all doing it together. We're a team. I know there's a lot of lone wolves out there in the trading world, but I'll tell you, most of the traders I know that do well, they do so as part of a team. We're your team. Join us. All right, everybody. That's all I got for you. Here are the links. The links are also in the chat, so you can click them in there. If you want to get All-Star Options, you can click that. I also have a free newsletter. I write most days of the week, not every week, but not every day, but most days. Some of the stuff. Sometimes I drop some real big knowledge bombs, I've been told. Why not? $50% off select subscription plans if you use my promo code Sean50. All right, everybody. Have a great rest of your week. It's fall now. It's autumn. Autumn is here. It still feels like summer where I'm at. I hope it feels good where you are. Enjoy the weekend. Enjoy football. Enjoy fall things. Go out and check the leaves if you live in a place where you got leaves. It's beautiful scenery out here where I'm at right now. Have a great weekend, everybody. I'll talk to you again next week. Bye-bye.